Support for this podcast comes from State Farm. With surprisingly great rates, State Farm is the real deal when it comes to home and car insurance. State Farm agents are in your neighborhood, ready to help personalize your insurance. And you can manage your coverage, pay your bill, or even file a claim right from your phone with the State Farm mobile app. Visit statefarm.com today to get a great rate without sacrificing great service. That's statefarm.com. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Starbane's Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. And don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Morril.
Sam Morril, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How you guys doing?
We're just I feel like we're all getting by. I mean,
we've been wanting to have you on. We've been wanting you on this show for a long time, dude. But you're in New York. And so we always ask, because we lived in New York for 5 years, how is New York doing right now?
I think we're all right.
Yeah.
You know, everyone says that New York is dead, but then you go outside and there's traffic.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think people are still here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People are still
I'm
here.
still annoyed by things.
People still have an edge.
Have you done any of the in the park shows?
I've done shows every night.
Have you really?
Every night. I've done an hour every night. What I do is I put in my Instagram stories. I will come to your roof if you have a mic and an amp.
Yeah.
And you get cool friends together. And I've been doing it every night on a stranger's roof.
Really?
And it's been incredible. It's been great.
Awesome.
Dude, I love it. What I love is...
And then you rob their house? That's so
can't.
interesting.
Well, it's weird because I'm just like, I'm going into their apartments. I'm like, you know, like riffing about their apartment on stage.
Great.
I'm like, you ever think I'd like be riffing on your bidet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
But at
it's
least you
so
got
weird.
one.
And then they're usually really cool. They usually just get friends together. And some nights it feels like punk rock, and other nights you're like, am I mentally ill to be doing this? Like, I'm just showing up.
It may be a little bit of both, because I think that's like punk rock has about 35% of mental illness. That's like a part of it. But dude, that's awesome. That's great that you're getting, because you know, one thing that I love about you, and if anybody isn't following your Instagram, they should definitely be following you on Instagram, is back in the day before when you were performing kind of in clubs all the time, is you would post stand-up, first of all, that would get watched so much, and a lot of it was super, super current of the moment. I loved it so much because you're like, holy shit, this just happened, and he has a fully formed bit about it. Are you kidding me? I loved it. So
we get spoiled with stage time in New York, and you know the Cellar would be so cool about that. So the Comedy Cellar would just
film it, and then you'd have it, and then
I'd have it, and I'd say, well, I'm not going to do this joke for that long anyway. I may as well put it out into the world. I mean,
it's so funny. Like, this can go here, and it's not going to go on a special, but it can go here on my social media right now, which is the perfect place to consume it.
Yeah, it's just weird to hear. Like, I think of how some jokes are going to age in a special, and it's like weird to be like, so the royal baby is coming, and you're like 10 years ago. Like, who gives a shit? You know?
Again, that's right. That's right. I know. You never want to talk about anything but you know what? Albums, and for comedians especially, they're a snapshot in time. All of us have done comedy albums and specials and whatnot.
Sure.
It's, you know, there's like, you'll continue to do some bits and they'll grow further, especially the ones you just did right before you did the album. You're like, I got to put this on here, and you do it. And then like 6 months later, you have like 12 better tags than what you had before.
Isn't
it's fine.
Infuriating?
It is, but it's just a snapshot in time. You're like, this is what I was doing back in August of 2018. This is the special, and then you just move on.
It's also crazy to hear like an old Bill Hicks album where he's talking about like George H.W.
Yeah.
And he's like, this piece of shit is going into the Middle East. And then 10 years later, you're like, wow, you could have done that about his kid.
You could have just dropped the H. And the bit still works. Just that's all I got to do is edit it out, and the bit still works.
But that's a good segue into what we do on this show, because we do ask our guests, do you think the world is getting dumber, or do we have more access to dumb behavior now because of social media and what we live in this moment?
Well, I think it's easier. I think there's less shame in being dumb.
Yes.
You know, I think, I mean, when Trump is president and he's just loudly so obnoxious, like when you have Eric Cartman as your president, it's like, there's almost like, this is fun to be fucking rude. And then on top of that, with the internet, you can just kind of join up with people much more easily. Like when people are loudly rude, you're like, well, that's my guy now if you're also an asshole.
Yeah.
But people were a little more thoughtful, I think, pre-Twitter.
So you're saying there's more dumb connectivity.
Yeah,
right
that
now.
more
That's
people
happening.
are idiots are being able to find their guy.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Me too, dude.
Yeah,
I've been thinking that.
Hashtag me too.
I've been thinking that about tree bark for years. It is mean.
Well, a lot of people like that. There's that new Netflix thing, The Social Dilemma on Netflix, right? And everyone's like, "It's phones aren't the problem. It's people." But I'm like, all right, but the phones aren't helping, right? I mean, it's like by that logic, it's kind of like being like, you know, crack's not the problem. People are the problem. I was like, okay, but you can't acknowledge that crack is addictive.
Yeah.
Right.
Crack kind of puts people in the spot to be assholes, and it gooses them up to do it. You know what I mean?
Well,
be addicted to
that's a
coke.
conservative talking point because you're like, okay, you're saying that because you know that if you're asked about guns, you can be like,
exactly.
guns aren't the problem.
People are the problem. You're like,
Yeah.
well. So the answer is to get the guns away from those people. That's what you're saying, conservative? And they
Right.
would never take that point at all. Well, so our fans send us these great stories, and Dan
Dan breaks them down. Randy and I haven't heard him.
Sam hasn't heard them. Should we jump into one? You ready, buddy?
Let's do it.
Myself.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. This was sent in by John Cormier at John Jon _Cormier Cormier. Thank you, John.
Thanks, buddy.
When Mark Johnson took his dog Rex out for a walk,
All
love a
those,
good
by the
human
way,
name.
all those sound like fake names. Mark John, what's your name? It's
Mark
like
Johnson. You're like, nope, you're giving me a
Him
fake
and
name.
the dog are in Witsec.
Yeah.
When Mark Johnson took his dog Rex out for a walk, he did not anticipate fighting a 2.6 meter alligator. I had to look it up.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't know the metric.
A meter is 3 feet.
So it's about an 8.5 foot long alligator, which
Jesus.
is way more. This is why feet are better than meters. It really gives you an idea.
Have you-
2.6 sounds small.
Have you spent any time down in Florida? I'm sure you performed down in Florida.
Oh, it's my least favorite place.
Ever.
I think I had the worst comedy weekend of my career in Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
At Off the Hook Comedy Club. It was dreadful.
Was it Off the Hook?
Yeah, that name was misleading. And
It was 100% on the hook.
Everything was on the hook, including you.
I actually tweeted during the debate the other night that like Joe Biden, I felt for him during the debate because that's what performing in Florida is like.
Yeah, dude.
It was a reference to that weekend in my head.
Sure.
Just
So did
four
you
people
see-
just interrupting you the whole show.
Did you see Todd Barry's tweet?
Todd
which I
Barry's
thought
tweet was the
just
best.
Perfectly
What was it?
in the same vein. It's like
He said that Chris Wallace was like a club owner who has kept having to go over to a bachelorette party and trying to shush them, but didn't have the guts to kick them out.
Yeah.
How many times have you had that where you see the manager come over and be like, "Hey guys, you gotta be quiet." You kind of hear it from the stage and you're like, "Get these fucking people out of here. You got to boot them."
Totally. That's a great joke. It also is, you know, like, of course, you knew the conservative argument after that was going to be he guided Joe Biden. It was 2 against 1. I'm like, all right, so Trump wasn't an asshole the entire
Right.
debate.
You're right.
At all.
You're right.
He's not. There's never. It's always the media's fault.
It's always someone else's fault, and in
Yeah.
every situation that guy's in. So what's the one constant? That guy.
I've never heard. Imagine Trump in couples therapy with
Yeah.
Melania. If he actually went, he would be like, "This is on her. This is not
totally
me."
it. Or it's on
He's
you.
never. He
on
would.
the
Yeah. He's
therapist.
like, "You're a bad couple therapist. You're one of the worst couple." He would never say, "You know what? There is probably some work I could do on myself." He would never say.
Oh my God, no way. But the idea that like you're in, but you knew what you were getting into in Florida. We performed in West Palm Beach, and I love Matt Coleman, and I love the club. I love those
Yeah,
guys.
that's a good club.
It's
yeah.
a good club, but I was like,
We had the worst.
I was like, get ready. This is not going to be. We knew what we were going into. So if you live anywhere where there are alligators, I'm assuming this took place in Florida, right?
Yeah.
You have to assume that when you walk your dog out at any time, you're going to fight an alligator. That's
Right,
got to
that's
be
what I'm
in your
saying.
brain.
When he said I did not anticipate it, I'm like,
should
do you
an-
know where you
that's-
live?
And I hate to
Guys,
say,
when I did my shows in Boca, I fought 2 alligators. They were the openers. Highly recommend doing shows in Boca.
Jesus.
The rat's mouth.
I've done Boca.
Yeah, it's that.
I've bombed in most parts of Florida.
It's awful.
By the
The
way,
only
that,
place I don't bomb in Florida is I think Tampa. That club Side Splitters is good, but it used to be Bobby Jewell used to run the club, and
Yeah.
he was just a drunken piece of shit. And he was hilarious. I mean, he made me laugh, but he was like fucking what's his name from All in the Family, but without the heart. You know, like
Archie
it was
Bunker.
like- I remember Archie Bunker. Yeah, where he would. I remember I was there one weekend and I'm with this comic Raul Sanchez, who's funny as hell, from Mexico, served in Iraq, and he's got amazing bits on it too.
I'm
It's
sure.
like how many comics have bits
About
on, like,
Iraq.
Unreal.
about being under fire? It's insane, and you know, so. Bobby's just fucking prodding him all night, drinking all night. And he's just like, you fucking pussy. He called me a liberal Jew pussy. That's what he calls me. You fucking pussy. He comes in dressed like Charlie Sheen, the fucking 2.5 Men bowling shirt. And he says to Raul, he's like, you fucking, he goes, hey Raul, what tribe are you in? Like he's not even being, it's not even the right racism. You know what I mean?
Your racism isn't matching up.
That's how drunk.
And then
you are.
Raul has the best line on him. He just goes, "Airborne infantry. What tribe are you in?" And
Yes.
Bobby just takes a sip of his bourbon and goes, "Well played."
There's nothing as gratifying as shutting up a drunk. Like when
Well,
you
he gave
shut
it
up
to
a
him.
drunk, you're like, that's the best.
That's a victory.
Okay, so also he fights this alligator. We're doing the story because the alligator ends up being fine. After fending it off, the reason I tell you that is because it sounds like it might not be, but it totally is. After fending it off by poking its eyes, the Florida artist is coping in a very on-brand way by painting a grisly portrait of the beast that tried to bite his leg off.
If you're a Florida artist,
I know.
I don't even know what that means.
You're working in teal, and you have heard of acrylics.
And you work at a Color Me Mine.
Right. Cut to Florida artist being like, the fuck, guys?
Jesus, assholes.
Here's what you're never going to see in the MoMA. Made in Orlando.
True.
So true. Hashtag true.
I just took a sip of whiskey.
He wanted to make a portrait of the beast that tried to bite his leg off. Quote, "It tells my story. Everybody can see it. I bet you have a scar that everybody can see."
By the way, it tells my story. You didn't escape from slavery. You're a dumbass who walked your dog out not expecting to fight an alligator. This isn't now your story.
Here we go. Him looking at me with my leg in his mouth and my foot hanging out and probably my left leg stuck in the mud and both fingers going towards his eyes. That's what he wants to paint.
Number one,
No one wants to see that.
the alligator is not looking at you. The alligator doesn't care about you.
Right.
He just sees like a
Meat. He sees meat.
He sees meat or like an obstacle in the way. He's like, I gotta bite this thing. He's not looking at
He's
you.
like Jeffrey Epstein at a bat mitzvah.
He's not
just
looking.
sees
He just
meat.
sees meat, and he's like, "Let's
doesn't
play."
care.
Jeffrey Epstein at a bat mitzvah, dead. He's just dead. He's laying there.
Johnson, a wildlife artist. There's gonna be so many things that should tell you he should have known better. One,
Yeah.
wildlife artist.
If
So you're
you're-
telling me you spend a lot of time out there in Florida.
If you're painting wildlife in Florida, you don't paint alligators.
If you're painting wildlife in Florida, all of your paintings take place in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And they're not of animals.
parking lot of a Hooters.
Yes.
Johnson, a wildlife artist in Port St. Lucie, Florida, walks his dog twice every day. Another reason he should be very aware of his surroundings.
Yeah.
On the morning of September 13th, never forget, he says that he and Rex went for a walk around the wetlands behind his property. You are now walking around
in
wetlands in Florida.
Dude, so my wife's stepfather lives in Sanibel Island, Florida, a very beautiful little island off, kind of near Naples, like Fort Myers area, and you go take this causeway over.
I bombed in Fort Myers too.
Did you?
That's
Fantastic.
terrible. Yeah.
There's like the Sam Morril bombing tour of Florida.
Oh,
would be
dude,
great.
Belushi's. I don't think it's there anymore. Is
Jim
Belushi's Plus.
Jim Belushi's
Yeah,
club.
yeah.
So
I performed like John Belushi
today,
as he was dying. Yeah. No, it was. It was weird. And then I did a show once in LA, and I think Jim Belushi was at the show, and my agent was like, Jim Belushi was in the crowd, and he said like, man, what a great show. And I'm like, I wanted to grab him and be like, your fucking
Your club
stunk and ruined my
awful.
life. At the end of the weekend, the bartender all he said to me was, "You deserved better."
That's right.
Thank you.
This
like,
club is like
yes.
the Blues Brothers 2000. It shouldn't have happened. So in Sanibel Island, there's like on the side of the road is this kind of little ditch where water can, and sometimes water collects in that ditch. And I'm saying it's maybe a foot or two. In every single one of those ditches, I assume there's an alligator.
That's a rule in Florida. If there's
Every
water,
time we go, I'm
assume there's an
like,
alligator
don't
in
walk near there. I tell my kids, don't bike near there because an alligator's going to get you. That's what you should assume.
Shit.
Well, Mark Johnson walks around that twice a day
In the
and
wetlands.
Seem to forget. Yeah, and he's a outdoor animal artist.
And he didn't see it coming.
As they headed back, Johnson says, "You're going to eat those words, Jason Sklar." Johnson says he spotted the alligator in a canal that ran close to his own house.
I'll just walk by.
Damn.
The water's clear. I could see his head. I really didn't think anything of it. Why would you not think anything of it?
There's no point.
Is there a rule with alligators? Like, are you supposed to just like walk away as quickly as possible?
Yes,
Or are you supposed
in a
to
zigzag pattern if you really think they're coming at you. I'm dead serious.
It is
They
a-
can't move left to right. They go straight, very fast.
So if you zigzag, it's not going to.
Yes.
All right, good to know.
You have a greater
good
chance
to know.
of evading them.
See, you just learned something.
So he sees it. He thinks nothing of it. It is at that point he unleashed his dog Rex and ordered the dog to go back to the house. Why? What
Why?
business is he like going to paint this?
Yeah.
And with what? And why would you unleash your dog? Here, you go free roam.
Go back to the house. Put on a pot of coffee. Daddy's got to go do something.
Tell my story.
It's my story.
The dog's like, kind of seems like you're setting your story up to happen. Just tell it.
Just tell it.
I looked back to my left, and the gator, it's like a submarine. They use their tail for a rudder, and he was actually splashing water, moving very fast.
I'm sorry. Are you telling me how a gator moves in
Yes.
water? Okay.
In a split second, he lunged. There's a 2-foot lunge from where he was. That means you're still way too close to the alligator.
If you're 2 feet from an alligator, and again, I don't want to victim shame here, but you deserve to die.
because
If you saw it from far away, you deserve
like if
to
you
die.
told me, Rand, I'm telling you, I go, dude, I got bit by an alligator, and you have no idea how much ground they can make up so fast.
I'd be like, what are you, 20 feet away from it? And
I was 2 feet away.
it's your fault. Yeah. It's your fault.
That's on
Right.
you.
It's on
It's
you.
on you.
Right.
I'm gonna go one further here. I think if you live in Florida, you deserve to die.
That would that be great if that was Florida?
Not all
Welcome
parts.
to Florida. It's on us.
I mean, they lifted all they lifted
Not
all
all,
COVID
but-
restrictions. So
Yeah.
you know that
It is
that could come
incredible.
true.
The like, I wonder if it seems like the media is in on the joke of like every bad. If there's a bad story in Florida, you just have to publish it now.
Yeah, they have laws
people
there
love
that-
it.
Yeah, they have laws there that make I think single thing entered into it, evidence or like about of a case is public knowledge, right to know. So that's why there's so many weird Florida documentaries and weird stories because they give you every detail.
Access to everything.
Whereas other like
Oregon
in
does-
Iowa, they're
Oregon
like,
does
man,
it too,
Man
yeah.
did bad thing Friday night, and they can kind of be real vague about it.
Yeah.
True. At Florida is also you get a lot of different people. Like you get a lot of different types of
It
energy
all
in
funnels
Florida.
down there.
It all.
Well, you have like Miami, but then you also have like Jacksonville. Like
Yeah.
it's just different types of
And the
it's-
Panhandle, dude. The Pensacola,
Yeah.
the Panhandle is a whole other different
Redneck
And
Riviera.
then the people who live right in the middle, you're like, why did you
alligator
stop
alley.
there?
That's called alligator.
I know,
alley.
but like you've got water, you could go to on either side.
Nope.
You're like, nope, I want to
Nope.
pretend I'm in any other state but crazier.
I want to feel landlocked in a place that's an isthmus.
So he says it would jump 2 feet, believe it or not. Within a split second, he had my leg. The front of his nose was at the very top of my knee. He tore my shorts, and my right foot was sticking out of the very end of his mouth, Johnson said. I love that he was like, had to get into the part about what I assume are cargo shorts.
He's a painter, so he needs to
Sure.
describe every moment.
This is like the white trash version of the Revenant. You know,
This is the white trash grizzly man.
That's right.
He
Oh,
says
that was a great movie, man.
Dude, that was
Goddamn.
unbelievable.
no one should ever listen to the movie, but it was
No,
great.
that's our joke.
That was our joke.
That never got laughs.
I never got laughs. I bit on a date at a party, at a pool party, and it cracked my tooth down to the root. I bit on it so viciously. Our joke in our stand-up was, I bit on it so hard that the only person who could listen to the audio of me biting down on the date was Werner Herzog. Now,
I get it. I like it.
let me tell you something. That joke did not do well in West Palm Beach.
Or
Well, you're making a joke about a documentary that came out like 20 years ago.
I know. Well,
That's not your demo right there.
This joke was made 8 years ago, but
sometimes
still.
it's for you.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes
it's for you.
Sometimes they're just for us.
Yeah, I'm bombing. I'm like, what? No, capturing the Freedmans. No one
Anybody?
here, and
That's a fucking.
no one
great-
got that.
That's a great joke. Some movies are iconic, man.
He says he was
Yeah. Oh,
knocked
dude,
down.
I'm with you.
He says he knocked down and felt the alligator starting to pull on his leg. No shit.
Yeah.
Growing up in the area with alligators, again proving he should have understood
Should have known,
everything that
guy.
was happening that day. Johnson knew that once they clamped on, there was no way to open their mouths. You're not going to open that mouth. The jaw is so big you can't pry it open with a pry bar. They won't release.
First of all, not called a pry bar.
I know.
I don't know what
Crowbar?
I know.
A jack?
With no people, rocks, or tree limbs nearby to assist his escape, he chose a technique commonly used to fend off sharks. He remembers the next 5 seconds vividly. He was staring right at me, he said. I had both hands free, so I poked him in the eyes, and immediately his mouth opened up. Good on you. I'll give you credit for that.
Good to know.
That's the first smart thing you've done all day.
He says he took his leg out and looked back to see if the alligator was coming back again. If I take my leg out, I'm moving.
Yeah.
I'm not like, did you learn?
You don't. You don't survey.
Are we done? It's not like a fight outside of a bar where there's enough people between you where you'd be like, are we done?
Are we
Are we
good?
done? Like, there's none of that between you and the alligator.
If there's 2
Say
feet,
it again, dude.
Come back here. Come back. Say it one more time to my other leg.
That's right. I mean, there's 2 feet between you, but you may not have 2 feet at the end of this.
Right, for sure. So he looked to see if the alligator was coming back. Apparently, I had gotten him good, and he felt that because he left. Johnson walked back. Again, remember, the alligator's fine. Johnson walked back to the house without taking a good look at his leg. Why would you? Why inspect the problem right now happening?
I'll
in
look
your
at it
life?
later,
I'll
Dan.
if I'll sit on my white couch and decide whether or
I feel like there's a lot of people in Florida that are like, we're going to deal with this issue later on.
Yep.
Not right now.
Dan,
Let me play a hole of golf, and I'll deal with the leg.
truthfully, like Florida's other motto is walk it off.
walk it off. You got COVID? Walk it off.
Walk it off. Walk around.
True.
Where was I? So he walked back to the house without taking a good look at his leg. I just kind of looked down. There was blood all down my leg. I didn't really feel any pain, he said. To be honest with you, I was still very angry that happened to me. Way to prioritize.
I love that he's surprised. The only thing he's surprised about is that his anger hasn't gone away.
Johnson suffered 9 puncture wounds from the alligator's teeth and had to get 66 stitches. 2 days after the fact, he says a trapper called him to report that the alligator had been caught and would be relocated. That's how we know it's fine. Now his response to the trauma is to paint the encounter. Once he's completed it, he predicts that in a community full of nature lovers and collectors, someone will buy it. I will ask you guys before I show you this man, how old do you think Mark Johnson, the daily dog walker who completely understands wetlands and alligators, is? Who also got bit?
I'm going 65.
65 years old.
I like that.
That's a good pull.
Jay, what do you think?
Jay?
45.
45 years old from Jason.
I think
Spot.
he's 38.
38. Okay.
38 and on the edge of
The end of his life.
Yep.
Okay.
38 looks 65.
Kind of always has been, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to share this right now. We'll also put it up on the Facebook page so everybody gets to see this guy at the exact same time. Plus, I will tell you that Mark Johnson,
Just passed away. No.
Mark, I don't deal with this right now, Johnson, is 61 years old.
Oh,
Well done,
Sam.
Sam Morril. Look at him.
I mean, yeah.
First of all, great looking dog. The art is definitely ready for like a Florida brunch spot diner.
Yeah, that's got Holiday Inn written all over it. That's
Wait, what
great.
did you say? We lost you, Sam, for a second. What did you say? That's got
I
what?
said it's got Holiday Inn written all over it.
I know.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, that's right
Holiday
by the
Inn, let's say Holiday Inn Express. Like,
Come on,
let's not bump it. It's not ready
I mean,
for...
no, clearly he's skilled. Clearly he knows how
Yeah,
to,
he's
you know.
not. Yeah, he's not drawing things and painting things that don't make sense. But he's as good as you can be without being an actual
Here's the
artist.
injury.
Damn, that's fucking legit.
I got it. It looks like his arm, doesn't it? But it's his leg upside
He's
down.
Well,
laying
that's him
backwards.
laying
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
Holy
It got him.
shit. That
got
is
him.
no
Guys,
joke,
that's what he
man.
didn't want to deal with. That's what he prioritized his anger over the alligator.
I'll walk it off.
Walk it
Yeah.
off, man.
Yeah.
But what are you angry at? Are you like you can't? This is why when you watch animal documentaries and lions go after wildebeests and all that stuff. Like there's a moment where you're like, oh, the poor wildebeest. No,
That's
you can't
the
get
world.
angry. That's the
nature.
cycle of it.
Right. Outside of Jaws, what was it, 3 or 2? No animals getting revenge. They're
That's right.
never motivated.
Like we are the only species that can figure out a way to make impossible burgers. You know what I mean? Like we don't.
Dude, I'm so not in an like. I mean, I sound like a real ignoramus here, but I'm just not into nature. I don't want to get eaten by a bear. I see coyotes, and I'm just like, are you guys out of your fucking mind hiking there?
Okay, so the coyotes in my neighborhood are obviously like because people aren't out. I feel like in the pandemic and people are staying at home and there aren't a lot of cars.
We talk
out,
about this on our podcast.
Animals are feeling themselves right now. There are bears walking into convenience stores in Lake Tahoe. The coyotes are like in packs of 4 in my neighborhood walking around. I see them coming. I'm like, dude, there is nothing I could do if 4 coyotes started attacking me right there. I start freaking out.
But didn't one of you guys have a deal where they tried to trick a dog?
So we in my house there was a coyote when I at my old house. My dog.
Oh my God, I would freak out.
All right, so I was taking the dog out, and we see across the street yelping and limping one coyote. All right, and my dog started to like make a move towards it. Then I shined the flashlight up the street because I chased the coyote. The coyote was fine. It ran perfectly fine. So it was faking that it was hurt. And I shined the flashlight up the street and there were 6 more coyotes waiting. It was trying to lure us up into like 6 coyotes.
That's our first story down in the books. When we come back, we'll find out what else Sam's got going on. This is Dumb People Town with Sam Morril. We'll be right back.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Guys, hey, Randy Sklar here from Dumb People Town. These days, I'm telling you, it feels like online shopping is the only shopping that we really do. I mean, what else can you do? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, comes in. I love these guys so much. It's a free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and actually applies the best one available at checkout. This is the best. We shop online. You're looking for deals. Honey is basically your online shopping best friend. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free in 2 easy clicks by going to joinhoney.com/DPT. It lets them know that we sent you. Then when you're checking out on one of its over 30,000 supported sites, Honey pops up and all you have to do is click apply coupons. This is so great. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for the coupons for that site. If Honey finds working codes, it'll apply the best one for you to your cart. This is a genius concept. I cannot believe they've come up with this sooner. This is amazing. I'm doing this and applying these codes to the things that I want to do and getting money off and getting percentages off. It feels so good. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. Think about that. Honey supports all kinds of retailers from tech and gaming sites to fashion brands and even food delivery. I guarantee you, if it's a site that you're shopping on, they probably have a connection to it. It's simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and it works with whatever browser you use. Free, guys. Get the coupons and start right away. All of you should be doing this because we're all shopping online, and guess what's coming up? The holidays. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/DPT. That's joinhoney.com/DPT.
Hey, Townies, it's me, Daniel Van Kirk, alongside the boys you love.
Hello.
Randy and Jason. Yeah, look, I know this. Breaking up with your old wireless provider, it just got a whole lot easier. You have to do it at some point because you want to be conscious with your financials. You can do it now for just $30 a month. You can get Mint Mobile. Yeah, let that sink in.
$30 a month.
$30 a month.
Amazing.
So how much is your soon-to-be ex-wireless provider charging you right now? I bet it's way more than that. For people that hate their phone bill and are ready to cut ties with big wireless, Mint Mobile offers the premium unlimited plan for, I've said it before, I'll say it again, $30 a month. By going online only and eliminating traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings onto you. You use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Keep your same number along with your existing contacts.
See, that is so cool.
If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. It's your phone. Trust me, within 7 days, you'll know if it's working or not, and you can get all of your stuff back. Just say, hey, we're not 100% satisfied. They have their 7-day money-back guarantee. So break up with big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile's premium unlimited data plan for $30 a month. To get the new unlimited wireless plan for $30 a month, Get that plan shipped to your door for free.
Love it.
Go to mintmobile.com/DPT. That's mintmobile.com/DPT. MINTMOBILE/DPT. $30 a month. Mintmobile.com/DPT. You got it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Before we get into what Sam's doing, we want to let people know that we have another live Dumb People Town at Nowhere Comedy Club.
November 7th. We just announced it last week. And
the last one was amazing with Mike Birbiglia and Mike Doty. The next one will be John Hamm, Mad Men's John Hamm.
Nice.
And the band Tennis out of Colorado, Denver. They're fantastic.
I'm going to tell you right now.
We were halfway sold.
We're halfway sold on this thing.
I just saw the numbers.
We are more than halfway sold on the general admission. The VIP tickets, there are only 13 left. We still have a way to go on couples and group tickets and Ticket Plus, but guys, it's gonna sell out. So get your tickets now if you want to do that.
That's 4 days after the election. You're gonna
I'm gonna tell you, we're not gonna know the result of the election. I can tell you that right now. You are either gonna be really pissed and you need a break, and we are there to give you that break, or if we win, you're gonna celebrate and you'll be super happy and you want to celebrate with us. Do that with us. Just come, set your tickets. Know that you're going to do that.
Eventbrite.com, search for
or DanielVanKirk.com. The link is right there as well.
Do that.
Sam, what else is going on, dude? What else do you have going on? Can we direct people to your social media and stuff, which I love?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on social media like Instagram, Twitter, and all that. Just my name, Sam Morril. I got a special. It's on YouTube. It's through Comedy Central. It just hit over 4 million views.
Dude,
Awesome.
It hit 1 million in like 3 days.
It was crazy. Yeah,
So you did it with Comedy Central, but they released it on YouTube?
Yeah, that was kind of my plan. I did my last hour with them, and just no one watches cable. So I'm just like, if you direct people to watch it at 11 p.m., they're like, what?
Yeah.
What is this, fucking 2006?
Yes.
So no.
But if it lives somewhere where you can constantly direct people, so they just look up.
You're
Sam
wasting
Morril.
all the comics that promote you when they're like, watch it at this time. But if they promote a link and you could just click on it. So that was kind of my plan. The money's not nearly as good, but you're getting some visibility, and so I did that. And I also have a basketball podcast called Pod Don't Lie with Stavros Halkias.
Dude, I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so
Really
now I'm going
fun.
to tell you, you got to come and do our sports podcast, Jason.
I'd love to.
We'll talk, obviously, as we're in the NBA Finals, so maybe we'll have you
Bulls
on.
are back, dude. We got Billy Donovan. It's happening.
Oh, man.
Never
Bulls.
know.
Are you guys?
Dude.
What are your teams?
So Dan's from
I'm
Chicago.
Northern Illinois, Rochelle, a little hometown, but so I'm all Chicago.
So we grew up in
Gotcha.
St. Louis. We didn't have an NBA team, so we kind
Are
of
you Bulls fans too?
no, but we grew
You
up.
got Clippers now.
So we
haven't
grew up
you?
in the 80s when it's interesting because our allegiance is just by not having a team. We're the biggest sports fans ever. So like huge St. Louis Cardinals fans, went to the University of Michigan, couldn't be bigger Michigan fans. So like we understand, and Blues fans, we understand the deep depths of fandom, but when you don't have a professional team to go after, it's just like we didn't have it. So
we
like in
moved-
the 80s, we would watch
Lakers.
the Celtics, Lakers, and we, for some reason, we like the 76ers, we like the Celtics. I don't know why we were like Eastern Conference. That was where our leanings.
We loved the Knicks when we lived in New York, but then when we moved to LA,
It's my squad.
I mean, the squad
Dude, the
in
Knicks
the 90s, it was unbelievable to root for the
the
Knicks.
coolest team ever. To
Yeah,
me.
that
I mean,
team,
I was
the
obsessed.
LJ, Sprewell, Allen Houston, Marcus Camby, those teams were really fun. And we
Yeah.
loved rooting for those teams and would go to games at MSG, and just like the fact that you could just take the subway down and catch
The
a
fact
game
you
there.
could go see a game and then go do like 3 spots of comedy, that was amazing to us.
best,
That was the
right,
best.
yeah.
So we were big Knicks fans, but then we moved to LA.
We couldn't get Lakers tickets because they had just won 3 in
Kobe
a row.
and Shaq.
So we became Clippers fans, and like early. Now, I mean, like 2000, Corey Maggette, Chris Kaman, those guys. By
Sure,
the way, our
yeah.
fans are like, shut the fuck up with all this sports talk. But of
I'm
this
just
show.
reliving my days playing NBA Live '97.
But
Ooh, yeah.
I know, man.
So we root for them. But I just want a good finals. I'm excited for
Me too.
yeah,
It's exciting, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a great one.
you never know. You never know.
Jimmy Buckets, baby.
Pod
Yeah,
don't
but
lie.
they injured the whole fucking Heat in
I
the
know.
first game.
It was crazy. Pod don't lie.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's like
If you
Pod
like
don't
basketball,
lie,
you'll love
based
it.
on Rasheed Wallace's Ball Don't Lie, which is the greatest.
Sure.
thing
Which,
ever.
by the way, someone else tweeted Rasheed Wallace would have done a better job
than
moderating
Chris
that
Wallace.
debate. Than
That's a
Chris
good
Wallace.
point. That's
good.
That's a great point. We'll check all that stuff out. And are you ready to jump in another story?
Let's do it. Ready?
do it.
Sent in by Sarah at Shabatra.
Nice.
Just like it sounds. Salt Lake City. This story, I'm surprised this has never happened.
How many
before.
wives is it going to involve?
A Centerville man. This comes from.
By the way, shout out right now to Keith Stubbs, the guy who runs Wise Guys in Salt Lake City. He's maybe one of my favorite people in comedy, and I love doing that club so much.
And I hope it survives.
I know.
Very, very good guy.
Very good.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be
and
there.
a great club too.
He's the antithesis of that other guy you described. He's like a good guy who's fun to hang with, and he's like an enjoyable. And he loves comedy and loves comedians.
A Centerville man, who may or may not know Keith, who took a car on a test drive over the weekend, ended up being arrested after police say he refused to let the car dealer get out of the vehicle after driving at a high rate of speed.
Okay, so is that a kidnapping? By the way,
that's what I'm saying. How has this never happened before? Somebody needs like a getaway car,
and
so they just get a test drive.
We've
said this before. We need to come up with better terms for kidnapping
because he's not a kid.
So we need like different,
it's an abduction,
woman napping, guy napping.
Then that sounds like a good thing.
Abduction is good. Did you see Abducted in Plain Sight? Please tell me, Sam, you've seen that movie.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Speaking of documentary jokes, I do a whole bit about that documentary in my album.
Minute 21. Minute 21.
Yeah.
I just leaned over.
Don't you say it.
I'm not going to say it. For anyone who hasn't seen it, just
you'll hit us up right then.
This is my favorite thing is like we tell our fans.
It's a documentary on being a good parent is what it's about. If you haven't seen
My
it.
joke in my album is if you've seen the movie, you already know this. If you've never seen it, it answers a question you may have always wondered. It turns out there are times when you can definitely blame the parents. They're 100% to blame.
I mean, so we tell our fans who have never seen it.
We'll mention on the podcast.
And we're like
8
just
days later.
tweeted us at minute 21.
Dude, my buddy Cody Steele, this just happened to him. I go watch it, and then I got him, and he goes, dude. 22 minutes. I'm like, I told you.
22 minutes.
He goes, this is the worst dad of all time. And I go, and that's not even the worst thing he thinks he ever did. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
It's pretty shocking how bad.
Horrible.
a parent you could be.
And that's before you even get to the aliens. All right, here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Caleb Gibson was arrested Saturday for investigation of kidnapping or adult napping, as Jason would like us to say. Gibson went to a car dealership in Salt Lake City and took a vehicle for a test drive along with a sales associate from the dealership. You never know when you're walking into somebody else's like personal version of Falling Down, the movie.
That's
like
right.
they're having a day where no more rules apply to them and they've had enough and you're along for the ride.
They've
literally.
been pushed. This guy doesn't want to buy a car at all.
Gibson drove to several locations in Salt Lake City, but this is on the test drive. Like, imagine me, like, you cool if we run into AutoZone really quick? Like,
Are they both, by the way, men, or what's the situation?
yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Because that
makes
would
it-
change a little
that
bit.
makes
If
it a
it's a
little
woman, I'm like, all right, this is
Yeah.
This is not good.
Gibson drove to several locations in Salt Lake City, but when the salesman told him to go back to the dealership, Gibson refused, according to a police affidavit.
Dude, that's got to be a crazy moment.
Cool if we just pull over.
All right, let's head on back, and because I
got one more thing to do.
He still has to sell him the car,
Right.
So he's still being that sale.
They're crossing state lines. So what do you think, though, of the vehicle? Because it is
He's like,
pretty
okay,
good.
you're seeing how well the pickup is. It can handle driving in the shoulder. It can handle it.
Let me tell you a little
We
bit
haven't
more.
stopped for gas yet. That says something about the mileage, So
He's trying to make all the things about what he's doing as positives about the car. So if you're going to go on a long trip and not tell anybody about it,
Look at how little the gas has gone down. Look at what we're doing.
look at how smooth it handles around turns, and we're around that car.
I appreciate that you're enjoying 80s on 8, but understand this is a preview of Sirius XM. You're only going to get this for the first year if you buy the car.
But you do get it.
When the victim, that's the salesman, was on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, Gibson started driving 100 miles per hour on the freeway, turning the music up and rolled down the windows. He's trying to have a great time.
That's right.
Well, maybe roll down the windows for COVID-related reasons.
Yeah.
So you can't
You know what,
really,
man? I just want to be safe.
Guys.
Yeah. Look,
As he goes
I know I'm a
100.
lunatic, but I am a germaphobe.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
I have
Dude, we
limits.
saw a car chase in LA when we first moved here in 1999. Jay and I were in
love
the car
this.
together. Car speeds out and makes a left.
No, it was speeding past us on Santa Monica Boulevard at Doheny.
and cops fly right behind it. We're like, okay, this car is being chased. I mean, you just don't, know exactly what's happening when the cops follow this guy up.
Car gets to Doheny and is about to make a left, turns on its turn signal.
We're like, that's unbelievable.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
like that. I love this
Guy
guy.
just wants to alert
Look,
people.
I
I'm
don't
in
wanna-
a chase, but I don't need a moving
Hey, fuck
violation.
the cops, but I want everybody else to know I'm looking out for
That's
them.
right. I robbed that bank, but please, no.
Yeah.
I don't want points on my license.
So he rolls down all the windows, turns the music way up. The victim believed that Gibson was doing this so that the dispatcher could not hear him provide his address, which I imagine was changing every half second.
Yeah.
The victim stated that he was scared and didn't know where Gibson was going to take him.
Right.
Gibson didn't know.
Of course. The Utah Highway Patrol spotted the vehicle and pulled it over. Gibson claimed he was scared of the salesman. I mean, you're a pro level liar.
Oh my
You've now
God.
flipped this whole thing. He was scared of the salesman, quote, because he kept yelling at him and grabbing the steering wheel, trying to have him pull the vehicle over. But he says he was scared of him.
Right.
Gibson stated
Isn't
that
it
he
nice? So isn't it nice to hear a story where the salesman is not the aggressive one?
Yes.
for sure. For sure. So he
He's
said
like,
he was
"What?
scared.
Pull it over now. Pull it over now, and I won't call the cop." And the other guy's like, "I thought you said there was a no haggle policy."
Yeah, right?
He goes when they're like, "Sir, we're arresting you," and he's like, "You sure you can't go back to your chief and see if
Go
we can
back
get a
to
better
the chief
deal on
and
that?"
see if you can just drop the charges a little
And
bit.
he slides a piece of paper. This is how many days I think you'll be.
This
in.
is what I can
Yeah.
get. I can get you into a
jail cell for
$10,000
$2
bond.
He was scared to stop the car, so that's why he kept driving. But Gibson has a lengthy criminal history, according to court records. He was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail.
Shouldn't you be able to? Okay, so like, let me get your license, and we just got to just put it down in the thing. You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't you swipe the license, and if there are priors on the license, you got to be like, yeah, we can't do a test drive.
Or
That's a good idea, right?
Or
Yeah,
just
it is.
take that. Like, just take that as your, like, you go for the drive. We've got all your information. Rand, did you just see what I'm about to show
It's
everybody?
okay, I'll see it.
It's
now.
fine. I'm going to show. Okay, so here's what Gibson looks like.
Are we gonna guess his age?
We're going to look at him and then guess his age.
So all right, Sam. On the show, there are times when you look
at
at
this
someone
man.
and it's more baffling after you see the picture.
So
Yeah, I would also like look at that guy and be like, "You're not going to buy a car." You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm gonna
100%.
guess your Experian credit is fuck you.
Right. Sir, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't see you in a Camry.
Yeah, certainly a white one.
you look like the magician you killed.
He looks like a background actor on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
Or
it
or
looks like
Walking
his
Dead.
hair is running away from his face.
Well,
you
it's
know?
scared. It's scared too.
Yeah.
his hair is trying to grab the wheel from his
How
head.
old do you guys think Caleb Gibson is after looking at this?
I'll go
photo?
55.
55 years
No
old.
way.
He looks
that's
like
that's a 30-year-old man.
He looks like the scariest White Walker ever.
He does.
I would say
30.
He looks like he's
Jay, you say he's
cosplaying as
30?
the Green Goblin without doing anything.
I think he is like he showed up in an orange jumpsuit. I think he's 30. I'm going to do 38 again.
38. Okay, so 38 from Rand.
When he was born, he was on parole.
Right.
38 from Rand. What'd you say, Jay?
30.
30.
Sam,
okay.
what did you say?
50.
55.
55
okay.
years old. Okay. Caleb Gibson is 43 years old.
I'll take
Randy,
it. I'll
Randy,
take
nice
it.
work.
I'll take it. Holy
It's
crap.
deceptive, though, isn't it?
We can all thank methamphetamine.
Yeah,
for
that's
that right there. That's-
I mean, he
Does.
definitely looks 55.
All right, that's story number 2, my
Story
friends.
number 2 down the
that
list.
guy's lived hard.
Yeah, I
Yes.
love it. He
Yeah.
has. Can you give us a taste of what we're going to hear in the third
I
story?
totally can. Somebody in Wisconsin finds the craziest thing on the beach.
Oh my God!
Of
Can't
course.
wait.
The beaches of
life?
Wisconsin.
I
Remember,
know.
remember
Beach
when
life.
Latrell Sprewell bought a yacht in
Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee, and everyone's like, "I don't think you're going to use that much." And then he
there is
went
Lake
bankrupt,
Michigan.
and then he had to.
I met Sprewell in a bar in Milwaukee once. I'm a big Knicks fan, so it was really weird. But I was doing a gig at this place called the Comedy Cafe many years ago.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a Knicks sweatshirt, and the woman who was hosting the show said, Sprewell drinks at the bar across the street
Jesus.
every night. And
No
I was
way.
like, every night? And she goes,
Every night.
He's Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down now.
Jesus Christ.
So we go to the bar, and he doesn't show, and I'm pretty bummed. And then he walks in.
No
He's
way.
got red hair now.
Red?
And I'm kind of like, holy shit, it's Sprewell. It's my guy. Like and I went up to him. He couldn't have been a bigger dick to me. And I
course he
I don't
was.
know what I panicked too, but I was like, the guy I'm with is like, he drinks Honey Jack. Like that's his drink. Is Honey Jack.
Yeah,
I'm like,
great.
oh, Spree.
So you bought it?
Never
Did you-
change.
Did you buy him
So-
some Honey Jack?
Well, I went over. I'm like, hey man, I'm from New York. You're my favorite player.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I have a Spree jersey at home. You're my guy. And he just goes, okay. And I was just like, and I said, can I get you a drink? He goes, I already got a drink. And I just said, I'm like scanning through my dumb head, like,
What
do
do
you have
I
any
do
cards
now?
to play? So I said, I'm a comic. I'm doing a show in town if you're around. And he goes, yeah, don't count on it. I was like, all right, well, this didn't go as planned. And I'm like, well, maybe it's me. And then some other guy who's with the girl who I was there with was like, I guess he dated her, and he goes, I'll handle this, like all cocky. He's like, I work for Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
And he goes over, and Spree looks like he's going to kick the shit out of the guy. I'm
course.
like, all right, I got off easy.
Yeah.
So then a few nights later, like the bartender at the bar was really cool. And she was like, look, he's surly. He's not a bad guy. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't even believe he is. He's Spree. I can't allow myself to believe he is. So a few nights later, the bartender it's like 2 nights later, the bartender comes to my show and she's telling me about Spree, and she goes, I'll text him right now about you. And she just texts him, hey, that comic the other night, he's actually really funny. You should see his show. And Spree goes, oh yeah, I met him the other night. Great guy. And I'm like, that's Spree?
That's his view of that encounter.
Well, he also, I had an MSG show for a minute on the Knicks Network for like 2 seasons, and he was a guest on the show. And of course I didn't, but I would do a gag with every guest as like a
And
cold
you're like,
open.
I ain't gagging with this guy.
Well, the gag was like they just shit on me. Like it's them negging me. Like I had like CC Sabathia on, and he was like, "Dude, this is my favorite show. I'm so happy to be on." I'd be like, "Really?" And he'd say, "No," and like that would be the opening. So like we just give them a line and neg me. So I had Spreewell was supposed to be like just texting, ignoring me. I'm like, "Dude, you and me, like
We're the best,
Like this
man.
is
We're
this is
friends."
it." And he was like, "I'm not doing this." And I was like, "All right,
Okay.
fuck it." So
Okay.
but then the interview went okay. But it was the only interview I was so nervous for.
Of course. I don't want to say this, but in you going up to him, you kind of choked a little bit. So, all right. Well, let's take. That's a great story.
Sure.
Let's take a break. When we come back, a couple of questions, and we'll get into this last story.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
All right, guys. Randy Sklar here for a new sponsor, and I'm so happy that they're sponsoring us. And this is for those hard to gift people in your life. Finally, there's an easy answer, and it's called uncommongoods.com. If you are on the hunt for a unique and unusual gift that is guaranteed to delight, then you've come to the right spot. Uncommon Goods has all the best gifts, no matter what you're gifting or whatever the occasion is. I think this site is so cool. I'm always the type of person who likes to give something unique. And I know a lot of our listeners are unique and awesome people. We've met a lot of you. And this is perfect. This is perfect for so many of you. If you're thinking of giving shoulder shrug gift cards or cash to your friends or family, check out Uncommon Goods for the most unique gifts that you can find online. No matter who you're shopping for, Uncommon Goods has the perfect gift, from art, jewelry. The art is incredible, by the way. Kids, kitchen, home, and bar. Uncommon Goods has unique gifts for everyone. Through Uncommon Goods, you can support artists. This is what I love. You guys already listen to podcasts, so you support us. We are artists. Check this out, and independent businesses. Uncommon Goods in the design area looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or designed in the U.S. They'll help you find something meaningful and always it's out of the ordinary, which is so cool. And you're giving back. These guys are so great. With every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They donated more than $2 million to date. So here we go. To get 15% off your first gift, go to uncommongoods.com/DPT. That's uncommongoods.com/DPT for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. Cool, unique, and unusual gifts.
It has been reported, guys, that Americans are overpaying on car insurance by over $21 billion. That's billion with a B. But searching for a better deal can take hours, and typically, it results in a barrage of unwanted spam calls and emails and whatnot. Until now, thanks to Zebra.com. I love that these guys are sponsoring us, Randy. The Zebra.com.
I love them.
It's the nation's leading car insurance comparison site because it's the only place that you can compare quotes side by side from over 100 providers and choose the best for you in 90 seconds or less. Plus, they will never sell your information to the spammers, so you won't get those unwanted calls or emails that we all hate. Just answer a few questions on a simple fast form, and they find you the best rates and coverage in your state. TechCrunch calls the Zebra Kayak for auto insurance. The best part is that it's completely free. You can save up to $670 a year using zebra.com. That is important.
That is big money. You want to do it with states reopening and people back on the road. The Zebra is committed to making sure you're covered at the lowest possible price. How much can you save on your car and home insurance? Go today and start saving at thezebra.com/DPT. That's thezebra.com/DPT. THEZEBRA.com/DPT. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we say, join the Facebook page. You'll see the photos of all these crazy people and a couple questions for our Patreon fans.
Yeah, if you're a Patreon member, you're going to get a little bit of bonus content right now. Sam, we talked about before we started recording today. What was it like shooting the Joker? I didn't know you were in it, so when I went and saw it, I was like, "Holy shit!"
You had some great jokes in there.
They left good jokes.
Were you happy?
It was a great experience. Yeah, it was. Todd Phillips personally called me. It was so jarring.
I love that.
And he's such a great guy, and he was very, very cool on the phone. And he was like, "Look, I like your style of comedy. It's like you just tell jokes. It's not like any here's my sob story with no punchlines." He's just like, "You just tell jokes. I like that." And I said, "All right, well, all right." So we're shooting it, and I didn't tell anyone I was in it because I assumed they were going to cut me out. I'm like, why do you need to keep my material, let alone my name, which was such a cool thing that he kept in one more time for Sam Morril. I'm filming with Chris Red from SNL, who I love Chris. Yeah. I'm like, man, what a great, I love hanging with that guy. So we just spent the whole day together. Gary Goldman, who I love too.
Unbelievable.
Was there.
And did hit one of my favorite old bits of his, the role playing as a professor. And wait,
it was an important scene in the movie.
Very important scene.
So as was mine, I bury the Joker on stage. He can't follow me, and that's when he really spirals.
Yeah.
So that's his origin story. He couldn't follow me on stage.
Yes, and you should never bury the joke.
Well, so we're at an open mic is in the scene I'm in, and I'm talking to Todd before, and I said, "Hey, don't want to bother you with stuff, but hey, do you want me to bomb? Because I'm an open micer." And he goes, "Do whatever you want to do." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to bomb with my jokes. I'm not going to go up there and eat shit with my material."
Right.
And he said, "Well, then do your material, and if you kill, you kill, and if you bomb," and I'm just like, "Well, I don't want them. This is going to be. I know this. I didn't think this was going to be a $1 billion movie, but I knew it was going to be big.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, let me just not embarrass myself. And cool enough. What's cool is it was a crowd of extras who I think they were expecting me to suck.
And
so they were pretty giving.
Yeah.
And Chris Red, every scene just has to be like, introduce me and then go one more time for Sam Morril and bring up Joaquin. So he's just reading like lines.
Yeah.
Whereas I get to I'm doing a different bit every take.
That's what I was wondering, because that keeps it really fresh for their takes.
Well, I didn't want to. He
audience.
said you could do the same material, but I said I don't want to because I don't want them to fake laugh. So I wrote out a bunch of bits that would work in the 80s, which is when it would take place. So like no cell phone bits or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
Then they were both really cool. Joaquin goes on after. It was a very uncomfortable scene, so it was very cool to watch.
It was so
How deep was he in when you guys were like
into his character? Yeah,
he was deep into it, but he also was very nice and friendly. And I wasn't going to talk to him, but he started chatting with me in between takes. And
you gave him the Sprewell treatment. You're like, cool.
I was like, "Look, man,
busy.
I'm working on my character. Why don't you lay off?"
and then you just
why don't you lay off, Joaquin?
Why don't you go have a sandwich and throw it up?
Why don't you lay off, greatest actor of our generation?
over his head. You're like Jack and Honey, too, right here.
No, he was very, very nice, and he just said, like, "Man, I like your jokes a lot." He was just very complimentary. He said, like, your comedy is like. He said, "I don't normally like stand up." He said, "But I like your stand up."
Yeah,
and I was
man.
like, "Wow,
Well, because
that's
it's
fucking
good,
cool.
because it cuts through everything." It was so good. We were because I didn't expect it either. Jay and I saw. Who did we see it with?
We saw with Aaron Uris, who's a great comic.
Comic from Denver.
When we were in Denver, right?
In Denver. We saw it in Denver, and it was a jarring movie to watch.
It's
Super
shocking.
haunting.
Yeah.
It's like
super
it's scary.
haunting and like scary in a way that like I don't think horror movies don't scare. I watched it and I'm like, nah, it's not scary. But like this scared the hell out of me. And it was funny. Our joke after the whole movie was like, if we learn anything from the Joker, it's that stand-up comedy is hard.
Comedy's hard, man.
It is, but he also got a Murray Franklin immediately. Where I'm like, dude, that's not fair.
Yeah, come on. Where's my Murray Franklin song?
Sam, I love that you were so deep into character, you even had the comic resentment for another person getting an opportunity.
Yeah. And also,
a thing that doesn't
You're like,
exist.
I'm killing
well,
in
not
this
only
open
that,
mic.
but I saw, Murray get spoilers, but
Yeah.
you've all seen it. He gets shot in the face, and I'm just like, oh, that's bullshit. Why does the comic have to die? You know?
Right. And also before your comic character gets a chance to do the show.
You're like, I was gonna do Murray Franklin,
They
and
said
now
he's
he's
Killing.
They
You
said in 4
videotaped that
months.
show and you didn't use my seg.
They
but
said I'd go on in 4 months, and he took away my opportunity. This asshole.
Well, he also, it's so meta, right? That he kills De Niro, and the movie is so inspired by King of Comedy. So
Yeah.
so cool, that little nod. I mean, it just
So
looked beautiful. The music was beautiful. It was a pretty cool,
crazy. Dude, what a great-
it definitely didn't make me feel good about the world
No,
afterwards.
it's there were a
Because
lot.
you
Last
watch
year was
that
like-
and you're like, shit, with all the
Last year was
mobs
just
out
such
there.
It was such a cool year for like when I was watching The Irishman and Sebastian shows up and
Yeah.
Norton is playing Rickles. And
Oh
you
my
like
God.
keep seeing like
Yeah.
people like fuck.
I
this.
love
and
these
it always
people.
works. Like
Both had
It's-
great roles too.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it was-
it's just great. Well, what a great opportunity if anybody go back and watch it and watch Sam Morril. And,
for sure.
Shall we get into this last
do
story?
last
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Final story, friends. Sent in by Jen Amity at Jamity51 or Jamity, maybe.
Jamity.
So maybe it's Jen Amity. Here we go. A man enjoying a day at the beach. I feel like it should always say Wisconsin Beach so that you know, like, we are not on the coast.
It's not a real beach.
right.
It's just
rocks
an
and
area of
cigarettes.
sand next to a water.
Do you like really pale bikini clad bodies?
Yeah, just
Come to Wisconsin.
come to
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Do you like
And I
rocks?
shouldn't be talking if you look at me.
I know, yeah, no.
I'll see there.
The whitest motherfucker.
Yes.
A man enjoying a day at the beach was recently left speechless when he stumbled upon, this is at a Wisconsin lake beach,
A guy fighting an alligator.
no,
Sorry,
a brain that was wrapped up in aluminum foil.
dude.
my
Sam,
God.
your face right there is perfect.
That is
So I'm like, wait, Dahmer's from Wisconsin, right?
right.
Yes.
Dahmer is from Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Great name for this guy, too. Does not sound fake. Sounds perfect for Wisconsin. Jimmy Senda. You know Jimmy Senda?
Yeah, Jimmy
From Andover?
By the way, you
Senda.
cannot say his name without both his first and last.
Yeah, he's
name.
in basketball. Like, it's a basketball. Like, Jimmy,
Jimmy
Senda.
Senda.
I'll take Jimmy Senda. Jimmy Senda. How you doing? Good to meet you, Jimmy Senda.
Jimmy Senda.
Jimmy? It's Jimmy
Jimmy
Senda.
Senda Ford.
Send it
Yeah,
for.
Jimmy. There you go.
It could also
was-
be like it's like a Fargo name.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
Ooh, Jimmy Senda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Senda.
and if it's a
Yeah.
Fargo thing, it's a name that sounds silly, but the person will kill you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a very Fargo
Go
thing.
call Jimmy Senda. He'll
Yeah.
come with the old axe chipper.
Yeah, Jimmy said it. That wasn't part of the deal, though. That's
we talked to-
every season of Fargo and every Coen Brothers movie is someone saying that's not what we agreed to.
We,
It's always that. It's somebody going.
He's
"But
always
that's
shocked
not-"
that someone.
no,
he's
no.
always shocked that someone who agreed to kidnap his wife lacks morals.
now,
Now, we decided.
I talked to Jimmy Senda. I talked to Myron Proudfoot.
Jerry Lundgaard now. That's a perfect name.
Yeah, sure.
But you said it was going to be different. All right, here we go. He was searching for sea glass, something you can't do in Wisconsin by technical definition.
By the
also,
way-
also something you do when you are
Want to
alone.
not, or want to not spend time with your wife.
yeah, or if she's not coming back.
I'm going to the beach to do what? Search for sea glass. We were supposed to hang out today.
Yeah.
He was searching for sea glass at Samuel Myers Park Beach on Tuesday morning, but instead he found a bizarre yet intriguing package that was fastened by a pink rubber band. Like I'm picturing like, the old, like, this was a thing that in Chicago, all of the guys who were outfitted or connected in the mafia, they use those deli rubber bands for their cash. It's a very, I don't know if
Yeah.
it went to other cities, but that's the way and that's what I'm picturing is around.
A thick,
It's that
thick rubber
Yes,
band. Yeah.
But I'm imagining it's like the brain is in like butcher paper.
It's aluminum foil.
Okay.
Which is
Jesus
also kind of weird. Jimmy Senda explained that he decided to open the package out of sheer curiosity. Of course he did.
It's not yours. Open it up.
I popped it open and it looked like a chicken breast, Senda recalled. It was a brain. Then it didn't look like a chicken breast.
Yeah, that
my
looks
God.
nothing like a chicken
Is
breast.
that Junior Seau's brain?
Oh, I should have told you at the top. Don't. We don't get any answers in this story. It's just weird and short. Senda, puzzled by the shocking discovery, immediately notified some nearby city workers who I imagine were like paving a nearby road and could have given two shits.
outta here.
Like we're on break, asshole.
Yeah. God.
We don't care, man. Go out of here.
Go get that brain out of here.
Officials said they don't believe the brain is human, but medical examiners are conducting an investigation. Here's somebody who's smarter than me or knows some more cultural stuff. Maybe it's one of you three or somebody in the town. This is how they end it. There were flowers and Chinese money inside the package as well, according to Jimmy Senda.
Flowers and Chinese
Do
money.
any of you know of any sort of like
A lot of mixed messages here.
Yeah. Like any sort of cultural reference where you would bury a
Flower.
part of a person or a part of an animal at sea, wrap it in aluminum foil, put flowers and
just
Chinese money inside of it.
doesn't wash up on shore.
That's a curse, right? You've cursed somebody or
Yeah.
something. You have to.
I think it's like a crazy chain letter. You now have to kill someone, get their brain, and
send
put it into a
12
different
brains.
lake with Japanese yen and a couple.
I guarantee
of
this. It's not in the
herbs.
article, but you know damn well, based off of his chicken breast comment, Jimmy Senda tasted it. You know he did, guys. You know he was
I
like,
grilled it.
He breaded it.
Yeah, he
breaded
of
it.
course he
Served
did.
it.
Wisconsin, of course.
breaded
course
it and
he
he
did.
filleted and then he put it in with some cheese curds.
that's story 3. I don't know anything about it, but if somebody knows about some ritual that involves that, please let us know.
tell us.
Yeah.
There
Very
you
weird.
go.
There you go, Sam Morril. Dude,
Wasting
thank you.
Chinese money, man. We
That
can't
is,
be wasting that money.
right?
When we owed them all that money, we're going to waste their money? God
That's
damn.
right. Come on. Can't do that. Don't put it in brain packages.
Yeah, everybody check out Sam's podcast, Pod Don't Lie.
Pod Don't Lie, sports fans, you will love that.
Check out his special on YouTube and
Yeah,
follow
what's
him
the
on
special
social.
called on YouTube? Can they
It's called
just
I Got This. And
I
I got
This.
2 other specials. They're a little harder to find because they're behind a paywall, but they're on Spotify and
Great.
Wherever you get your tunes.
Dude, he's one of the best joke writers out
Thank you,
there,
guys.
and so you definitely, to our fans who love stand-up comedy, who are like, I need new stuff. People are telling this in the pandemic because we're just walking everywhere and listening to stuff. Like, get on this, listen to this, you will love it. And dude, so great to have you on, man.
Great
Thanks
to
so
see
much.
you guys, and nice to meet you, Daniel. And,
You too, my man.
And
You too.
I'll see you guys around.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm her down. It's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.